What's up, y'all? It's your boy Shazna. Alright, so we've been hearing about this glorious interview that's going to be taking place with Nelson and Talbot. It was kind of a rumor and some confirmation, but we finally got it officially here. We got this. We got two promos. I was going to react to yesterday, but of course, quite late. But I was about to do this, the first promo, but we got the second promo as well. So I'm gonna check both of those out. But man, this is fantastic. But I'm gonna share my thoughts on how great this is, the fact that it's Nelson that is doing this, and also talk about the trailer a little bit. Now that we got to experience the trailer, we know what to expect. We get the tone. Since kind of obviously the fever is on a whole other level, the hype is on a whole other level. But now that it's kind of tamed and we are aware of what's coming, I want to share a couple of my thoughts, maybe some of the things that I might be a little bit cautious about. We'll talk about the trailer a little bit after this promos. All right, so let's get this rolling. Hey, the king, the legend, the greatest.
உங்கள் சன் டிவியில்
இதை ஒரு குட்டி ஸ்டோரி ஒன்று சொன்னீங்கன்னா
எதுவும் ஸ்டாக் இல்லையா?
நல்லா பாக்கெட்டில் தேடி பாருங்க சார், எதா இருக்கும். ஏடா இதெல்லாம் தனியாக கேட்க வேண்டியதுடா. அது மாதிரி
அதான் ஷூட்டிங் முடிஞ்சிச்சுன்ற தைரியத்தில் இஷ்டத்துக்கு ஆஸ்கிங் ஆஃபீஸ் கொஸ்டின்.
அதை ஷூட்டிங் முன்னாடி பண்ண சொன்னாங்க, பண்ண முடியாதுன்னு சொல்லி.
விஜயுடன் நேருக்கு நேர் 10 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு பிறகு விஜயின் பேட்டி. இயக்குனர் நெல்சனின் கேள்விகளுக்கு பதிலளிக்கிறார். வரும் ஞாயிறு இரவு 9 மணிக்கு
we got it.
டிவியில் காண தவறாதீர்கள்.
Before we move on to the next promo, man, I mean, Thalapathy looks next level pure straight fire. I mean, come on now, bro. Man, it's unreal. All right, let's go to promo number 2.
ராவம்மா ஹே ராவம்மா ஜாலியு ஜிம்.
Hey, let's get it.
உங்கள் சன் டிவியில்
விஜயே இன்டர்வியூ எடுக்கிறாருன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். என்ன கேட்பாரு, இப்போ பண்ண போறீங்க?
அது நான் தான் சொல்லணுமா? அடுத்த கேள்விக்கு போலாமா?
அதான் 4 கார் இருக்குல்ல, அந்த 4 காரையை தாண்டி சைக்கிளை ஏன் எடுத்து?
Hey bro, Thalapathy's balling, you already know.
விஜயுடன் நேருக்கு நேர் 10 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு பிறகு விஜயின் பேட்டி. இயக்குனர் நெல்சனின் கேள்விகளுக்கு பதிலளிக்கிறார். வரும் ஞாயிறு இரவு 9 மணிக்கு உங்கள் சன் டிவியில் காண தவறாதீர்கள்.
Hey man, listen, I'll speak for myself, and I think many of you will share the sentiment. We've been wanting a Thalapathy interview for a very long time. It's been a while. I didn't realize it's been a decade. I mean, I know it's been a long time, but god damn, 10 years? That's wild to me. I think the last one he did was during the Jilla time. That was also some TV one that I think was during the Jilla time, because I remember his facial hair. But what's so great about this is that we are not getting, listen, no offense, or I'm not trying to be disrespectful here, but like we didn't want to see any of these cringy hosts that we get from all Tamil networks. I mean, listen, maybe they are prompted to act that way, over the top, making bad jokes and just making it really awkward and asking the typical questions of like, listen, I understand the starting off the questionnaire with asking like, oh, how was it to work with this director or this actor or whatever. But then you got to go a little bit deeper into the filmmaking process, right? Because at the end of the day, the people who be watching that show, yeah, they want entertainment, they want to have fun, but these are also film fans. These are people are the ones going to go watch the film, and if they're watching this interview with the cast and crew, they will love to know more about the technical stuff. They will have the music director, sometimes cinematographer. They will have these people, these crew people, but they would never ask any intellectual questions, and it always bothers me. So I never liked any of these network interviews. I mean, in the past, like maybe in the early 2000s, we would get some real good ones, but since then, nowadays, every time we get this kind of a promotional interview with this crew with that kind of a light up, colorful sets, and these kind of hosts just making weird jokes that supposed to be considered funny. And I mean, listen, a lot of people watch this. My parents do watch those, and I've seen them, and I just, after a minute later, I'm like, okay, gotta bounce. You know what I'm saying? But having Nelson, who is somebody who's already worked within that network scenarios, he worked in those circumstances, I would say, because I remember he was saying in an interview where he had to do it because he kind of had no choice at that point. He was starting to like survive and trying to get some job, and then eventually he realized, all right, this ain't for me, I'm done. And then he tried to get back into films, and of course he delivered Kola Mavukokila. So he understands the flow, the rhythm, and what the audience may expect. But hopefully he understands that for us Thalapathy fans who are also fans of cinema and filmmaking, the whole process, I would love to know the mind behind this level of greatness. You know, like his psyche, like how he thinks, how he approaches movies nowadays, how things has evolved in the last 10 years for him. Because you can tell that the movies that he's picking right now are quite different from the last decade, which is wonderful. And we can see that by his choices, but I would love to know his thought process as well, because that's something we don't get that often. But anyways, I'm looking forward to this. I think it's gonna be funny, but also I think it will be intellectual. You know, I know Nelson's probably going to balance it out because he probably understand the tone. But this, okay, kids are going to be watching this, families going to be watching this. Also, like some diehard fans who are also into the filmmaking process are going to be watching this. Hopefully, he can balance it all out. I don't know how long this interview is going to be. Let me know if you guys know if it's a 30-minute interview or if it's an hour. Because I would like this to be like an hour. I don't want it to be 30 minutes because I feel that's too short. An hour would be really great. But we'll see how it's gonna play around. But with that said, guys, let's talk about the trailer for a little bit. So, listen, the trailer was next OP straight fire. In terms of a trailer, I think it's like on the level of Tupaki, obviously, but I think this might surpass it for me because I love the Tupaki teaser more than the trailer itself. But anyways, the trailer was wonderful. Is breaking records. It has over, I think, 35 million views at this point. It's gonna break 40 easy. Might even get to 50. But with that said, guys, now let's talk about the expectations of the film. Right now we get it. So we're getting Thalapathy in a kind of a somewhat of a die-hard situation, right? And I think there'll be other components to the film, but it seems like 80% of the film or 90% of the film probably is going to take place in that mall, and they did a pretty good job building that up. So when it comes to action, that's where the biggest selling point, right? This is a full-on action film that's gonna have some comedic elements to it, and there's some shots in the trailer that we could see that all the comedic actors there, and I think it's gonna be fun. I think Nelson will do a good job balancing it all because it is quite violent. I mean, the trailer, Nelson is letting you know, like, yeah, kids can come watch this, but yeah, it's gonna be some blood all over the screen, all over you. It's gonna be kind of wild, and I'm glad, and also I love when it comes to the promises of the action. A lot of Tamil films want to kind of get on action, be like, it's gonna be we're gonna have to redo some great action set pieces here, some great action choreography here. We shot it this way, that way, but they do all that work, all that stunt work, all that prep, and whatever it took for them to shoot those scenes. They always let it down by the editing process because it seems like a lot of people in Tamil cinema doesn't know how to edit action. They edit action just like how would they edit songs, how would they edit a regular scenes. It feels like because action needs a breathing room, a beautiful pace to it, so for us to experience a visceralness. If any editor thinks that making quick cuts gonna create a sense of intensity, are quite wrong because that's the opposite that's the opposite of what they're intending. Because the second you start quick cutting a lot of these fight scenes, it takes you out of the seat because you don't know what the hell is going on. It's so jarring. You can't even feel the impact. You're trying to create a false sense of intensity that may be there when you were shooting on the actual footage, but on the edit, it's lost. So I love the fact that in the trailer we got to see a lot of wide shots, especially during the mall scenes, the way he was like knifing fools up. Like you can see the way the camera's moving. They use a lot of wide lens here, so you can tell that, okay, I could see how the action's gonna flow. So, and with Talaba, somebody like him being so physical and being one of the best martial arts in Indian cinema, he's gonna bring that aesthetic, that skill set to pull those scenes off. So the editor will have an easier time creating the impact because it's already there from the performance and the way it's probably shot. So I like the promises of how the action is going to be executed. My only concern is that I hope it's not a slow-mo fest. Slow-mo is a great tool when it's used right. And sometimes we've seen many films that overuses it, falls in love with slow-mo so much to the point it is taking you out of the action. It's not fun anymore. It's like, okay, you're just waiting for this shot to end. So it's really, you got to be very precise in at what point of the pacing you want to use the slow-mo aspect of that set sequence. Listen, action is my favorite genre of film, and I always wanted to see Thalapathy in a full-fledged action film. Although this is going to have a lot of commercial elements to it, I believe in Nelson in ways he's going to balance it all out. But I always wanted to see Thalapathy just going all out, because nobody else can do what he does, especially at his age and his star power, and physically where he's at and how he looks and everything fits perfectly, you know. So I really been wanting to see that full-fledged action film, and we're gonna be getting that with Beast, and I don't want that to be ruined by some of the editing choices, because I think the fight scenes, the way it's choreographed looks very very good. The way it's shot with a lot of wide lenses seems very good. So all for me, it comes down to the way it's going to be edited. You know, the slow mo aspects are all going to be choices going to be made on the editing stage. So hopefully Nelson really watched over in what moment, in which ways slow mo is utilized, and even if it's utilized a lot, hopefully it doesn't take away from the moment of the immersion that you're experiencing with the film. So with that said, guys, that is more of a toss on these two promos. We're probably going to be getting more. I don't know if you guys want me to react to every single new ones that may come out. Let me know if you guys want to see more of it in the comments down below. But yeah, so that's my post reaction toss on the trailer. Obviously, man, first day, first show. You already know the king, the legend, the greatest, Thalapathy Vijay. I cannot wait, man. I didn't get to watch Master, and some of you asked me in the comments, will I be get to watch Beast in theaters? Yes. I've been saying first day, first show for a reason. You know what I'm saying? It's not just a slogan. I'm going, man. I'm there opening night because I missed out on Master, and that was rough. All right, y'all know I was really upset by, it was situations, circumstances with everything going around the world. It was very minute, but as a fan, it sucked. It sucked. I didn't get to watch Master in theaters, but Beast, I'm gonna be there first day, first show. So with that said, guys, let me know what y'all thought of my thoughts on the trailers and how hyped are y'all for the interviews. And if you have any of your own concerns about the film, things you're expecting, you're hoping to be good, let me know. I love checking your thoughts. And as for always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and see you guys on my next one. Salute.